What is going on, people? Happy days. Finally, we got the win. Transfer window over. First game after the window shut. Palace managed to beat Brighton 1-0 away from home. Clean sheet. Good performances from our new players. And overall, happy days. Happy days. 2 games unbeaten. We built on the Forest game and we've got Burnley coming up next. So there's a lot of positivity, lots to talk about. As always, before we do get started, even if you're watching on replay, please do hit the like button and subscribe. I believe we're about 11 away from 7,000 subscribers. So if you do want to see more Palace content, don't subscribe just for the sake of it. Please do hit the subscribe button. And most importantly, even if you don't want to see more Palace content regularly, and if you do enjoy this stream, if you're checking out, please do hit the like button, as it does help us out massively. Animal 1-0 win, but with everything that's been going on for the past month and a half, 2 months or so, a massive win against Brighton. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, huge 3 points. I thought it was really good to see the boys playing positively today, and not messing around with it too much. It was a positive result and a great win.
What was the difference today? You mentioned positively, but for me, the energy was there. That's what it felt like. Watching Strand Larsen pressing from the front, even when Gassan came on. Not just those players. I just think those, the rest of the team that's been playing, it just felt like there was a bit more belief there for me. But for you, was that the difference, the energy, or did you notice anything else?
No, I think the energy was good. It was positive energy. It was the boys keeping their heads about them. Doing really well with the ball. There was some sloppy play in there at times, and it's going to take a little bit of time for us to sort of gel with our new players, especially Strand Larsen up front. I think the front three need a little bit of time to sort of get in sync with each other. But other than that, I thought it was a strong performance from the back three as well. Lerma had a particularly good game, I thought, not just in a defensive sense, but in an attacking sense as well, getting his head on the end of everything, which is what we want him to do.
Yeah. Look, I would have liked to see Riyad start ahead of Lerma just to build his confidence and let him bed in with everyone else. But when you're looking at Lerma's performance today, it was an excellent defensive performance. He done everything that he had to do right. And on the other end of the pitch, in terms of set pieces, he was pretty much there for the majority of them, winning the first header, which is what we like to do, target him on the set pieces. He looked positive. I thought the back three for the entirety of the 9 minutes was solid. You look at the midfield, Wharton, having Wharton there was a plus, but not just having him there, because we've had Wharton, apart from the red card, which he missed against Forest, but having Wharton there, play on the levels that what he normally does and what we expect from him. I think that's a massive plus, because today I saw a different Wharton. I saw Wharton that on and off the ball was a bit more positive and had an impact. I don't know what was impacting him over the past month or so, but he hasn't been at the levels. But today he was. And then you're looking at Saturday in the second half, which was positive. Overall, everyone played up to the standards, which is a massive plus, because when you have the uncertainty with the manager in terms of who the next manager is going to be, and we've spoken about Glazer wanting out as well. Well, he's going to be leaving the football club. You do have a lot of question marks raised whether the players want to play for the manager. But for the first time today, ever since he's announced his departure come end of the season, I did feel like the players did want to play for him. I thought they showed the right efforts and they've done everything today to tick the boxes to say, you know what, cool, we do want to play for this manager. So a lot of positives. But when you're looking at the team overall, we had more than anything the structure to the team. I think Wharton coming back was a positive, and we could talk about Larsen. His pressing was good. There's lots of pluses. Lots of pluses. I don't know where you want to start off.
Lots to get into, so wherever.
Yeah, I mean, let's start off with the defense then. Clean sheet. That's a big boost, because ever since Glazer joined the football club, what we've been known for, yes, we've scored goals, but being solid defensively, that was positive. Was you surprised to see Lerma start?
Yeah, I was. I wanted to see Riyadh chain a few starts together. I said in the chat, because I want to see the back three gain a bit of familiarity and a bit of momentum together. But to be quite honest with you, for what Lerma did today, in hindsight, I don't dislike the decision to start Lerma. He was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, he was brilliant, and then Richards and the crowd had a good game. But going forward, do you think Lerma's going to be playing in that back three, or do you think that could change depending on the game? Because yeah, I thought Riyadh would have started this game, but against Burnley, surely you still have to play Lerma if he's playing that good in defence.
Depends on what Glasson thinks the situation needs. I think today you've always got to be wary of players like what's his name, Lewis Punk, I think it is, isn't it? Players like that who are a bit tasty in the air when it comes to being in our area. So to have Lerma, who's got a leap of just I've never seen someone leap like him actually. I
He's
can
not a
leap,
good
but
player, exactly. He's just very good
that,
with the leap.
it's like that guy flies, So
Yeah.
it was important to have some aerial combatant up against Lewis Punk.
Yeah, and then Larson, energy today, fantastic, and he's winning for everything. Winning for everything. You didn't have that many opportunities in front of goal. I thought Munoz's crosses at times when he was in the box, and when we did have a half decent opportunity to put it to him, we didn't do great. Apart from the third cross into the box, which was the last one that Larson had a proper opportunity, one time finish to the goalie. But apart from that, I mean, the energy makes a big difference. It really does. I mean, you can notice it on the eyes, and you can have players that can talk and say, "I want to be here, I want to do this and that." But sometimes, as I always say, not sometimes, actions always speak louder than words. And today, Larson kind of proved what he said when he first joined Palace, in my opinion, it's despite not getting a goal.
Yeah. There was a lot of fight and a lot of effort there from Strand Larson. It would have been perfect to see him cap it off with a goal, because he was there and about, trying to get into some of the balls that were being thrown in. We weren't exactly creating too many in terms of crosses for our players to get onto. There was a couple by Munoz that were missed, and nothing really coming down the left hand side. I thought Pino had a game where he didn't get into the game at all for the entire game. A little bit of passing, a little bit of tidy passing, but it just wasn't involved, And I think the right move was to bring on Gesand when he did.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking at the halves, when you look at the first half compared to the second half, first half we basically created nothing from open play, and our chances pretty much came from long throw-ins and corners. Second half, that kind of did change. The game did open up a bit more. Why do you think that was?
I think I don't want to say that it's the substitution of Gesand which really sort of turned it around for us, because I think Gesand was fortunate to get into the position.
It did feel like that. Don't you think it was that though? The Gesand sub, actually having a player off the bench that could have a positive impact rather than a player just being there for numbers' sake. It felt like Gesand's qualities. We saw it when he'd come on. Don't you think he made the change?
Like I said, I think the substitution was the right one. I'm hesitant to say that it's what changed the game entirely, because Gesand was in the right position at the right time. Sarr just happened to be in an advanced position at the right time. I don't want to downplay the goal. It was a well taken goal. We had to take it in what's the word? In the moment. Do you know what I mean? It was in the moment that you had to take it. But yeah, it was definitely a positive substitution. It was the right one to have made. And then Gesand, he was getting around, getting into people, and I think we've still got a lot to see from Gesand. So let's just temper the expectation, let the lad breathe a little bit, get him into the team, and get him involved a little bit more often going forward. Maybe he starts the next game.
That's the good thing now. I mean, with competitions all over the pitch, when you're looking at Brennan Johnson and Sarr, that's going to be the two on the right hand side, and we saw that stuff today. Gesand and Pino. Everyone needs to be at the standards. I feel like every position, to be fair, even in midfield. You look at Will Hughes today. I thought Will Hughes was my man of the match. I think Lerma had a great game, but Hughes was absolutely brilliant and controlling the midfield, and both on and off the ball. There's nothing wrong that he pretty much done apart from the yellow card he picked up early, but he was sensible. He wasn't dumb with his tackles despite picking up the yellow card. When you're looking at the team, you look at the midfield. if if any of the Kamada or Wharton don't play, it was nice to see Kamada come on for the last 15 minutes or so. Then you do have competition there, which is what the squad has been lacking, and I think that's going to be a massive boost. And keeping a clean sheet, winning this game, adding squad depth, all the noise, even going into the game, I was optimistic. I know sometimes I'm optimistic and it doesn't work out, but I genuinely had a feeling about today, a good feeling about it, because the noise about transfers is all done now. Yeah, I mean, there's still that uncertainty over Mateta, but the players are here. Players have come back from injuries, from suspensions, and you look at the squad today rather than first 11, and you can actually look at the bench for the first time, God knows how long, and say, you know what, we can actually change the game if it doesn't go well. And today, that was the difference, it felt like, because normally we start off very good in the first half and drop off in the second half, but today it felt like the opposite. We started off a bit slow in the first half in terms of chances created, but a bit more in the second half. And I think the difference for that is actually having players in the second half that could come on and provide energy and positive impact to the game. So the squad depth definitely has helped and is a good indicator for the rest of the season. It's only one game, but if these players can come on and produce the quality that they do have and have done in previous clubs, then it could be exciting. But let's bring on the guests. There's a lot of guests waiting. Let's bring on Mason first. Mason, 1-0 win against Brighton. We finally won a game. Forget about Premier League. It's just a game in itself. It's been a long, stressful running, and windows closed. 1-0 win away at home to Brighton. Your thoughts on the game?
Feels like a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
Yeah.
Looking at that lineup for the first time, having a bench of, like you said, having quality there. When I was on this platform last week, I said we need competition, and especially with that front three, you can see now that there's competition within this squad. Like I said, if you don't have competition in the squad, the player can play, badly, and then they know they're in the squad the next week. Now there's uncertainty there with Pino maybe not playing at the levels that we would have hoped for today, and Gessan coming on and providing that goal and playing well. You don't know now. So I feel like there's definitely some positivity there. But I think a lot of people are going to focus in on the new signings, definitely. But we've got to give credit to the rest of them. That defence today was superb. One of the best defensive performances I've probably seen this season. I was as surprised as Animal when I saw the lineup. With Lerma there. Like I said last week, I wanted Riyad to get a sort of run of games going. And when I saw Lerma in there, I thought, well, you said you didn't want a new centre-back to replace Gay, and then you go and put a midfielder in there when we've got the two backups there. Do you know what I mean? And I thought before the game, I thought that might be a bit of a wrong decision, but no, I got proved wrong, which is what I always want. Lerma played brilliantly well. And the midfield as well, nice to see Kamada come on, get some minutes. So maybe we can integrate him in the team again as well. Mind you, with Hughes playing as well as he did, I think it might be a struggle. Brilliant performance.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Kamada will start when he's fit, because I just think Kamada just has the quality edge over Hughes overall. But it's still good to have Hughes play as good as he has done and have him as an option, maybe off the bench. That's what you need with Conference League games coming up as well. If we go all the way in that competition, let's see, we'll take a game at a time, and if hopefully we'll beat most of, but we'll have any games on a Saturday as well. So it's going to be like a lot of games that we're going to still have till the end of the season. No FA Cup games, so we're going to have a bit of a rest after Burnley. But we need those competitions in place, and it's only one game, as long as everyone can stay fit. But when you look at the bench today, you just had a bit more confidence that if things ain't going well, which it wasn't in the first half in terms of creating chances from open play, you could bring on players off the bench, and that's what we did. And eventually, one of those players that came off the bench contributed to that win. So that's the overall plus for me.
Yeah, I think that really shows the importance of this game as well. You look at the games in the Premier League, it's like even the game at home to Wolves straight after a European game, and we've seen that our Premier League games directly after Europe have not been great, to be honest. And so when we get a Premier League game without Europe affecting it, it's big. And we, kept the clean sheet. I think that's our first clean sheet since Wolves, I think, but no, Burnley away in December.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Huge.
No, we had a clean sheet against Villa.
Oh yeah, the clean sheet. My bad. But yeah, like we've been saying, it was just a brilliant performance. I think it's actually quite difficult to decide who to give man of the match to. Personally, for the gestured cup lift, go on Endo, have it.
Yeah, he was loving it. He was loving it at the end of the game as well. You could see it, which was nice to see. But last two games, well, now Brighton's done, of course, including that. Forest and Brighton, you got Burnley coming up next. This is a real opportunity now after this game to continue building on this, because Burnley have been struggling and you got them at home. And you're looking at, if you go and get a positive result against Burnley, 3 games unbeaten, and you got more winnable games on paper. Like, this could be the turning point for the second half of the season.
Yeah, not only Burnley, we've got Mostar away, and then we're at home to Wolves. This is the opportunity now. This is the opportunity to push up this table. I've looked at the Premier League table; it's mental. I was talking about a potential relegation fight if we lose this game. Now I'm looking at it and going, well, we're 6 points off 8th or something stupid. It's crazy. So I think in March we've got something like Manchester United away, and then we're at home to Leeds, another team that are down there. Yes, they've looked good this season, but they are also down there as well. It's a big opportunity to build on this. Like you said, it's only one game, and when the Conference League comes in again, it's going to get harder, especially if we make it further in the competition. But that's why we needed depth in attack, definitely. And, and it gives me a lot more confidence in the depth in the defence when we're playing Lerma all of a sudden, and he pops up with one of those really good performances, knowing that we've got another 2 centre-backs on the bench. Brilliant.
Exactly.
I think I noticed today, probably a reason why Lerma played in the position that he did was in the first half. I noticed that Matoma was making a run down the wing, like pretty close to our final third, and Lerma came forward to challenge him, and Munoz came back into position, into Lerma's position. I thought it was maybe because Munoz isn't quite 100% yet with his speed, his sprinting, his energy. So maybe Lerma was the guy to take on the whatever's going on in the wings, the danger going on in the wings.
I thought he was kind of lucky to stay on the pitch, Munoz. To be fair, towards the end, I think we got a little bit fortunate there. He'd have missed Burnley on Wednesday, to be fair. But no, Lerma. I actually saw a stat at half time. I think Lacroix and Lerma together had 21 defensive contributions in that first half. Brilliant, the pair of them. Not saying Richards had a bad game. He was good as well. It was kind of ball watching for that cross into the box that fell to Matoma, and that could have gone quite badly, to be fair. Apart from that,
he was very good. Like, he quietly had a good game, in my opinion. Whenever Richards was called upon, especially in the air, it felt like they were going long balls, which is one of the dumbest decisions to do. With Richards try to play it long against him. He always was in control, apart from that Matoma chance.
It's one of those moments, though. It's one of those moments that makes you go, you know what I mean? It's not what you want to see.
Yeah. Because if we concede from that, it's like, come on, like, that would have been very, very frustrating. But look, we didn't. They didn't create that many chances. And as we've said, time to build on this. Time to build on this now. Are you confident, a bit more confident now, looking at the squad? I know it's only one game. I don't want to get too carried away, but you can take a lot from this game as well. The energy is the biggest thing. It's not even just about a win. A win is a massive boost. Don't get me wrong, momentum and confidence. But the energy today from the players that haven't been performing, as I said at the start of the show, as well, for the past few weeks, they did reach their standards, which is giving me the confidence. But are you feeling the confidence, or you just want to see a few more games before?
One win can make all the difference. I remember when we lost to, I think it was Larnaca, and then we went to Arsenal, and Eze got that goal, and then I think we won against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and then we won a couple of games on the bounce. One win can change everything, and I think if we can just keep that level, and that's what Glasner was, good at, especially last season. If we had a little bit of a dip, as soon as we get one win and he's good at holding them standards. I think we can, do quite well from here on in. The thing is, I don't want to be naive because we haven't been great at breaking down the low block this season, and that's what Burnley and Wolves are going to come to Selhurst Park and do, and Mostar in both games. Yeah. That's what they're going to do. So, I'm not going to come away from this and go, automatically win all 4 of those games. But I'm going into it with a lot more confidence, especially with the depth and knowing that if the starting 11 aren't up to scratch, we've got a competent bench now. Like, look at the difference from last week against Forest. Remember the calamity of that bench we was commenting on?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, the difference? Well, I guess we had players coming back from injury. It's not just the signings, the players coming back from injury. Yeah, you look at that bench compared to this bench, it's a whole different ball game. Like, someone's going to have to do that. I think we'll see when Nketiah's back, what happens with Uche. But I think Uche is slowly going to be dropped out of the squad. He's already dropped out of the Conference League squad. But it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. It's not.
You had Wharton suspended as well for that previous match, so which added to the direness of that bench, But from that bench to this bench is night and day.
Yeah, it is definitely. But look, Mason.
But I will say this: it's such a Palace thing for us to win this game then lose on Wednesday. So
let's not say that. Let's not say that. We can do both. Surely we don't lose against Burnley. Surely not. Even West Ham.
We need a run. We need a run, Mason.
Yeah, we need a run. I think this is it. This is the moment where it starts. So yeah, let's see what happens. But Mason, great talking to you as always, bro. Hopefully catch up with you again soon.
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit. Bye.
That was Mason having his say. If you do want to call into the show, you can click on the pinned comment to join us live this afternoon. We're currently on 69 likes, so there's over 200 watching. So if you haven't done so, just join now. Please do hit the like button to help us out. We're on 72, so thank you to the few that just liked the video. Let's go on to the next call. Let's bring on Alex. Alex, big win today, clean sheet as well away from home. This is something to hopefully build on. You're mute. Oh, your audio is not connected. So, but we can tell from your facial expressions how you're feeling. Oh no, we still can't hear you. Let's take you out and then try to talk now. No, it's not working. I'll look behind the scenes. We'll try and get that solved and then try to bring you back on. Not too sure what's going on. Let's bring on Nat next. Nat, clean sheet, win. Positive, finally, some good old days. It's felt like ages. Well, it has been ages since we last experienced a win at Palace.
This is a very big and positive step to take for the rest of the month, and it could push us on to do really well this month as well.
Yeah. So what was it today for you? What was the difference? I don't think we were particularly great in the first half, but I still felt like a draw was a fair result. But Brighton probably edged it a bit more in terms of chances created. But in the second half, we still kept the defensive shape well in place. There was no major troubles from Brighton apart from 1 or 2 moments, but it was similar to first half. But the difference really was in the second half we kind of created more opportunities. But for you today, compared to what we've seen in the past month or month and a half, 2 months or so, what was it?
I don't really. I feel like it's the new signings. I know that's kind of like. Is it really the new signings? But I do feel like there's some positivity around the fact that we brought 2 good players in recently to and I don't know if you've seen behind the on YouTube, on the channel, on social media. Strand Larsen has a bit of positivity about him, and so does Gusson. And when Gusson came on, there was positivity, and Strand Larsen did really well. And it's not just the new signings, but there's a bit of positivity about us now that I think we can build upon here.
Yeah, I think the new signings have contributed maybe indirectly to the morale boost of the squad. It feels like, based on what Henderson said after the Forest game or even before the Forest game, when you're looking at players that he didn't say exactly players that don't want to be here, but it did seem like there's stuff going on behind the scenes, which has seemed like the Mateta situation and maybe Gaza as well. But now that that's been kind of brushed aside and new signings coming in, I think they've kind of helped now to say, all right, cool, this is going to be the squad. We've brought in these players now to lock in, and they are good players. I think people were more frustrated about the fees more than the actual quality of the players. So I think indirectly, in terms of performance, they were positive, but indirectly as well, just like having players that actually want to be here. Because you look at the energy levels of Larsen. Yes, he didn't score a goal, but you could just notice it. Like, it's so easy to notice what we've been missing up there. And he caused Brighton defenders and the goalie trouble with his pressing off the ball, which was a massive boost to us. And you only do that if you want to put in the effort, and you, you put in effort because he wants to be at Palace. It's simple as that.
That pressing was I was loving watching it because he had a lot of runs at the keeper, putting a lot of pressure on him, and I think they made not mistakes that led to goals, but they could have made a mistake, or because he didn't have the time to kick the ball out as much as he wanted, and it was good to see pressure in unison as well.
Yeah.
When you look at I think we looked dangerous again. You know, it was like seeing like whatever you think about Mateta. You know, he wasn't making chances, he wasn't creating chances. You know, and that period of time where we didn't have Sarr and we had Johnson on the right and Pino's not physically imposing. You know, today I thought we looked a lot more dangerous, and that was really good to see. You know.
Yeah. What about the defense today? Clean sheet, which was a massive boost. We kept the clean sheet also against Villa, but we have been struggling defensively regardless. Like, it hasn't been great. Lerma started. Was you surprised about that? And what was your thoughts overall on Lerma starting ahead of Riyad, who's had a good couple of games since coming back from the injury?
Yeah, that surprised me. I thought Chaddy was going to get another game. Chaddy's looked good as well, so it is a surprise there. Maybe Glasner just wanted a bit of experience here, you know, considering it's a rivalry, and you got that, you know, that experience in the back. We looked strong at the back as well, but at the end there, I don't know. It looked. I mean, it's when Welbeck came on. Lerma didn't impress me the full game because he got. I mean, it's good to have a little battle on the pitch, especially against your rivals, but it looked a bit like Welbeck was getting in his head there a bit because he looked like he wanted to. I was worried that he was going to do something stupid.
Yeah, he kept his composure. Do you think Lerma starts going forward? Like, what do you think about the whole situation now with the defense? Because Riyad was playing perfectly fine, in my opinion, and of course he's coming back from injury. But Lerma today, he was good defensively. So it's a nice dynamic to have. But how do you think Oliver Glass is going to approach this particular situation?
Maybe he looks at the game and looks at training and see who's got. Well, does he need experience against Wolves, Burnley, and in the Conference League, or does he need someone who can move the ball faster and we can bring a bit of light to the game a bit quicker? So I think he's just got to look between those two and the game itself and see what he prefers for that match.
Yeah, and I think he's also a massive plus in terms of set pieces as well. So that's going to be a miss if he doesn't play. And we've got two players now. You've got Strand Larson, Richards, of course, Lacroix, Lerma. You are a real threat. And at times, I know we didn't have that many like shots on goal from set pieces, but we had like one or two scrappy moments where in another game, if it falls down on the feet of, let's say, Strand Larson or anyone else on the Palace, we could have ended up scoring. Like we looked decent on set pieces today, which was another struggle. But overall, you're looking at today's performance, looking at the squad depth, looking at how we played. Are you hopeful that this could now be the start of something fresh and new for the second half of the season after how the last month or two has been going? Or you just want to see a bit more?
Yeah, I think Mason said it, that there's a good opportunity here in I think it's the rest of the month where you got those Conference League matches as well, where you can get good results here, because one result is a positive and you can get good results, and squad depth it helps here today. So yeah, it's a good month to go on and really like get a few points and get through to the next stage of the Conference League.
Yeah, I agree. Just quickly on Gassand, your thoughts on him coming off the bench?
Very good dribble there to put Sarr through. I think he made more than one dribble as well. There was a point when he came on, as soon as he came on, I think he nutmegged. I don't know but he nutmegged someone, so that was a good. Might be in the same part of the game, but yeah, he did. He looked positive, passing and dribbling wise. So hopefully we keep seeing that.
Yeah, hopefully. But look, it's good to have smiles on our faces finally after all the dread. But now hopefully catch up with you after Burnley.
Yeah.
Take care.
Cheers, Matt. It's interesting, isn't it? I think there's a bit of a conundrum coming up with what we do with Lerma, because I'm somebody who wants to see Riyad as part of that back three, and when Kamada sort of gets back up to full fitness, he's going to be the one taking the central midfield role.
Yeah, but I'm just looking. I'm thinking more about set pieces. I think Glazer probably trusts Riyad to do a good enough defensive job, but I think set pieces. You saw it today. Whenever we have a set piece, the target is always Lerma for the first ball. So it's basically, do you want to sacrifice? If Lerma looks good defensively, do you want to? Is it worth sacrificing that for Riyad? Like, if Riyad's not going to be as much, right?
Look, where I have the concern with Lerma is becoming positionally unaware. You know, he'll have a moment of a lapse of concentration of where to be positionally, and it could be a goal scoring threatening opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I have concerns about it. But in terms of set pieces, Lerma gets on the end of everything. He's so efficient at that.
Yeah, so good, so good. So it's a nice dilemma to have. It's a nice dilemma to have. The fact that the fact that Riyad came on and not just come on, he started as well the Forest game, and he looked a bit more positive than what we've seen defensively. If Lerma does have those lapses and isn't performing at those levels, then it seems like Riyad should be capable enough of stepping forward. Whereas with Cambo, not writing him off at all, but he's still learning. He's still learning the trade. He's still fairly young in his professional experience, let alone his Palace. So yeah, it's good to have those two options there. Let's bring on Alex again. Let's try see if it works. Alex, can you? We can't hear you. We still can't hear you, unfortunately. I guess it's not. Yeah, I guess it's not meant to be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Let's bring on Henry then. Henry, can we hear you? Yeah, we can. We can. That's good. That's good. 1-0 win against Brighton away from home. As I've mentioned, the clean sheet, which is lovely. New players coming in. Overall, I mean, today going into the game, it was positive. It felt a bit more positive than what we've seen. But what was your thoughts on everything?
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's a brilliant win. I mean, I'm a lot happier than I was before the start of the game. I think it was just good to see, like, us doing the basics right. I think that's kind of what starts to get out of a terrible run that we've been on. I thought it was a really cagey game. Like, both teams, you can tell, were really short on confidence. Like, when you look at the runs they've both been on. I thought we were quite good in terms of our counter-attacking play. I thought we were playing some really good stuff. I really liked the look of Gwesson when he came on. I thought he was bright. I thought he was doing some good, linking up with Sarr and Strand Larsen. I thought Strand Larsen, it was a decent debut from him. I quite liked the pressing he was doing, showing a bit more energy that Mateta was kind of lacking, to be honest. So all in all, you can't really complain. There was a few shaky moments, but I guess that's always going to happen. So yeah, and it was good. It was. I'm just glad to see 3 points again. To be honest, it's been too long.
Yeah, it's good to see 3 points again. But do you think, based on what you've seen today, do you think this is something that we can build on now?
I think we can build on it. Yeah, I think with the fixtures that we have approaching, I think it's Wolves next. We really need to be
and Wolves. Well, Burnley most are, and then Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah. So Burnley and Wolves, we need to take 6 points. Like, those are the games that you're targeting to get the points and go up the league. So I think it's a big win. It's a really big win, just because before the Forest game, things were really, really, really bleak. And then, we managed to stop the rot, and then to go away to Brighton, score and get a clean sheet. I think that's not going to do anything except raise the confidence levels, I think. So it's good. Hopefully we do have a bit more squad depth now. The only thing we don't have is, we didn't replace Guehi, which I'm still bemused about. But yeah, I mean, at least we have Riyad back, who's doing all right so far, and we got Cambo if we need him. So yeah, I mean, I think it's slowly but surely. I think I'm beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel now a little bit, and hopefully by the time we reach the Conference League, I think the aim is just to keep growing, keep playing well, keep the performances improve game by game, hopefully, and then hopefully by that Conference League game, we will have reached a place where we can actually start to look a bit like our best season, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, what do you make of the debuts today from Larson and Gassan?
I thought Larson was decent. He I don't think he was anything. He didn't do anything particularly impressive for me. Like, I think he didn't really have many clear chances. The only one I can think of was the one at the end. I know he did have one where he sort of worked it wide and shot, but the angle wasn't right, so it was really hard to score from. But for a debut, I'd say it was okay. Like, it wasn't, it's not anything to write home about, but
I think I saw everything I wanted to see from Strand Larson minus a goal. He was strong, he was physical, he was getting on the end of things. Guessand, I think we need to give a little bit more time, and I think people need to temper expectations for. But what did you think of Guessand?
I like Guessand. I think Guessand seems to be, because I thought it was interesting that they had Guessand and Strand Larson on the pitch at the same time, because you kind of had the dynamic of two different profiles of strikers. Like, you had one that was sort of more playing as a sort of, not a 10, but sort of a wide player behind Strand Larson, if you know what I mean. And I thought they gave us a good balance, like a good dynamic to our play. I thought Guessand was really good. He came on, he put himself about, and he got stuck in, and he got a lovely assist. So, and shout out to Sarr as well. Like, where would people without Sarr? He's made a huge difference since he's returned. The penalty at Forest and the goal today. You think where we'd be without those goals,
Yeah,
100%. It is two goals in 2 games for Sarr since he's been back. But I've got to say the performances from Sarr haven't been what I've expected from Sarr. When he comes towards the final third, there's a little bit of a quality problem going on at the moment. Like that moment where you just want him to dribble past the players and he just stops, and the 3 of them crowd him and then knock him over. It's one of those things where the person who got me into football was Paul Gascoigne. I imagine what Paul Gascoigne would do in that situation, but not everyone can be Paul Gascoigne, I guess.
Yeah, not everyone's as good as him.
I know what you mean, though. In the first half, it felt like he struggled a bit, and he had some 1 or 2 half decent opportunities, which could have turned into proper opportunities, but he didn't take advantage of it. But then again, when you're looking at front of goal and we're talking about missed chances being clinical, the one time where you expect him to score, he ended up delivering, which we haven't been doing as a team for the whole season. Not even started. It was, we've been struggling to convert chances. So, and that was the difference today. Him being clinical in front of goal, and so he still ended up being positive in that regards. But in terms of the outlook, Henry, looking ahead now, there was a lot of conversation in recent weeks about relegation and West Ham picking up form. Are you a bit more comfortable now?
I'm not so worried about relegation anymore, if I'm honest. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think we'll be all right. I think we just need to keep playing like I said, just focus on the basics, and then bit by bit the performances will improve. Like, I mean, today I guess you could say it wasn't. Well, I was going to say not as good as the Forest game, but then again, the Forest game was a game of, we played well first half and then just didn't turn up in the second. But it was just, I think we just need to, I think we've got too much quality. I think we've got too much, I think the players are going to show up. We're going to want to win games, and I think we'll get a few wins. and we'll be all right. It's just I'm interested to see how this kind of thing plays out when it gets to the Conference League. What kind of situation we'll be in then? That's what I'm interested in. So, yeah,
Conference
we'll see.
League
But
is a big one.
Yeah, I'm delighted for the win because I think we all needed it really.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. But Henry, great having you on.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, that was Henry having his say. If you do want to call into the show, please do click on the pinned comment to join us live. Let's try Alex for the third time lucky. Alex. Oh, now we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, finally we can hear you. 1-0 win against Brighton. A positive overall day today. We can't hear you anymore. We heard it okay, and your mic's given up. So I think you have a mic issue.
How about now?
Now we can, yeah. Now we
Okay.
can, yeah.
I think it's this button. I accidentally hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
now I
look,
look like a
1-0 win
fool.
against
But
Brighton.
it's a 2-0 spiritual victory. Best header of the day by Verbruggen. Beautiful header on the goal. Gotta say, why'd you let it bounce off your face? Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
But overall today, it's a relief. That's what it feels like.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Going into it, I was kind of like you, D, where I felt good about the game, but I kind of was dreading how the game was going to feel. And the first half, woof, for both teams. I was very unimpressed by Brighton throughout the whole match. It's maybe the first time I can remember feeling that way, where I'm like, what the hell are they doing? I can't understand what they're doing. And it's good for us, but I was just like, you couldn't tell me what their plan was today. I have no idea. At least with us, it made sense. Like playing the channels through JSL worked really well, I thought, at moments. He really freed up the play. I thought he made some really nice challenges. Really, everybody did. I'd be surprised if we didn't win like 60% of our duels and stuff today. It just felt that way. I don't know if you guys felt that way too. Like we just kept winning, like especially in the back line. We did a lot of great things to thwart them at the end. We looked like we could handle set plays, which was like in the first half maybe not so much, but in the second half, God, every single one of their set plays was garbage, and we just took it. Like we were the first head on each one of those. So it's really good to see this performance. I wouldn't go too all in on Gassan, but great, like for a small volume of touches, very, very good. I love the one time that he went past somebody. It reminded me of somebody that you might have known, who could dribble past people. Oh, I don't remember what it's like. You can dribble past players. You can. So
there's a lot of positives today.
Definitely.
It seemed when you're looking at bench options, even having Kamada come off the bench for the last 15 minutes or so is a relief. Hopefully, we don't. With the Conference League coming up, we shouldn't run players into the ground.
I was thinking to you, like, by looking at Pino today, I was just struck by, is he going to be like our MVP in Europa? Is he going to be like our Igor Jesus of Europa, where he's not going to do much in the league anymore, and we're just going to have to play him in Europa? Because he looks good there. Like, I think he's looked good in every game he's played in Europa for the most part. And, maybe that's where he gets used more. Like, I'm not giving up on the guy, but I love the assertiveness of Gassan when he came out. I felt like he was not going to lose the ball. And he did once or twice, but he didn't lose it in the cheap way that Pino does, where he's bullied off of it, that type of thing. So
yeah, when you're facing a low block and you need maybe someone to break it down, maybe Pino plays in that game. But yeah, the sub today definitely helped, and it made a difference.
Oh yeah,
you saw the impact straight away. So
Brighton are a physical side at the back, in their back line, and the play wasn't really running up the left hand side either. It was normally when Mitchell had won the ball back and had started a move, But yeah, we weren't choosing to go down the left, an incredible amount of time. It was sort of the right side of Munoz and
Ever
Sarr that was
since we got
prioritised.
rid of Eze, I feel like that's kind of what we did. Was we just were like, sorry, Munoz, that's where it's at. Like we'll try to make it work there. And today, I thought Munoz maybe had one of our worst games, I guess. He certainly should have been sent off. I would have sent him off for the second challenge because, I mean, he puts his arm right out. He tries to stop the break. It's obvious. But I thought his cross at the, or sorry, his cutback at the end for JSL makes me think that's what could be coming, is Munoz to him looks like it's there. And once Munoz starts to get back into things, I got a good feeling about at least giving this a good shot now. I'm not saying that we're going to win anything. I'm not saying we're going to get top half. But I feel better now. Definitely.
What would give you that extra confidence about maybe going all the way in the Conference League or even finishing top half? Is it being a bit more consistent, do you reckon? Today was a
yeah. Well, and today, like, again, I feel like, missing that chance, like Larson, he hits it in a perfect spot, and he really just messes up the contact, gives him enough time to save it. Like, you gotta, hit some of those. You can't hit all of them, okay, but the amount that we're not getting on those easy, like those one-on-ones, is crazy. Like, really, Sarr should have missed his because he hit it right at the guy's face. I mean, that's kind of how we are right now, is we can't hit the one-on-ones, and it's so important for us because we give ourselves those just from like a little 1-2, and like that Gasson pass to Sarr was just led him perfectly, and I'd love to see more of that. See if that's the idea. It looked like Glasner was out of ideas until today, for the most part. What's up, Anna?
Oh, I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that's true.
Fair.
He made a proactive substitution in Evan Gassand. I don't think he was out of ideas. I think he was trying to
I meant before today. I thought today he was excellent.
Oh, before today. Yeah. I'd agree with that. I'd agree. I'd say that's more the players though than Glasner and what he had to work with. Dejected feeling around the club. I think it was a moment, where after that Sunderland game, we all started dropping our heads, and the players probably did too. We saw those Dino comments that were, I mean, do we know if he was talking about?
No, he tweeted against.
Oh, he's gone.
Sorry,
Mateta's shut him down.
Yeah. I'm gonna sort it out. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
You were okay. You were like half face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Up your face.
So basically, what I was about to say is that Dina tweeted after the game, togetherness, all about togetherness, and yeah. So I don't know what's referring to.
Is that a slam on Mateta, you think?
If it's not, then what is it?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's got to be, isn't it? I mean, what I had a problem with was just when Mateta decided to do what he did. It was after Glasner dropped a grenade, and then it's like Mateta started machine gunning everybody.
Okay.
It was that was how it felt to me. So
I mean, my wife doesn't watch like a lot of football, but she'll watch some of the games with me. She doesn't really like soccer that much. Football, whatever you want to call it, and I showed her the Mateta like face from Instagram, and she's like, "Wow, he's a child." And so, I mean, if my wife thinks that he's a child, I agree. I am with her.
Is David Maynard? Is that true? That comment by David Maynard.
Where's that?
I don't know if that's true.
He can't put it up. But
yeah, apparently told Mateta to get out of the club basically in front of other players. I don't know how true that is. I'll be honest, I haven't heard of that. But yeah, if that's the case, Glazer has been talking about Mateta coming back into the squad.
Why are we talking about this after a great win, D?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Sorry about that. We don't need to.
Exactly.
Do you want to know
exactly.
why? Do you want to know why? There's a few people that say that we're fickle and stuff like that, and Glasner, you've got to trust Glasner anyway. He's going to do us the business. He's going to win us the conference league. And something has happened. Something bad did happen. Glasner did, drop the bomb. He did have a back and forth with Parish when he did. Mateta did what he did when he did, So you have to reflect on it, especially as you
have to redeem
try
yourself,
to go forward from it. Yeah, and to move forward from it as well. You have to be able to reflect on it. I think rather than be a negative thing that we mull on, it's something that we reflect on as we move forward.
Yeah. Well, today we didn't have any of that problem. Today it felt like a different Palace side, not only because of the win, just overall when you look at the energy. So that was a positive. Alex,
why'd you let it bounce off your face?
Yeah. Take care, Alex.
Right.
That was Alex having his say. Let's bring on Tim next. Tim, we was doing a watch along together. And yeah, I mean, we were kind of in the same boat. It wasn't the greatest of first half. Second half was better, especially after the subs. But what's your thoughts?
I don't care. Eat it, seaweed. I don't care. That's 1-0. That's 3 points. That's a clean sheet. And let's right now, and I want to talk about the players in a second here. But first, we do have to give Oliver Glasner the Joel Ward Memorial Trophy as the only Palace manager I know of that will leave the club having never lost to Brighton. He's either beaten or drawn every time. Again, eat it. That's great. I love that. But we badly needed that. I mean, we were talking about it on the watch along, D. We badly needed that. And it's in many ways, it's a very good performance. And two things can be true here. The first thing that's true is that that's a much better performance. A lot of energy, a lot of endeavor, a lot of clear patterns you're trying to establish. It is also true that some things just did not come off, that there is a lot more to do, that this team can get to another level. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more to train. There's a lot more minutes and legs that are required for Gesson, for Strand Larson. All of that is true. But your minimum that you have to do in any football match is, especially when you go on the road, you have to at least match the home team's energy. And I think the Palace side had more energy and more endeavor than the home side. That's number one. Number two, you've got to have a clear idea of what the hell you're doing. And it did look like it. It did look like there was a genuine plan here. And that to me is super, super encouraging. But we can talk about some individual players, but broadly, yeah, that was an earned 3 points. And I'm real grateful for that.
Did you see the positivity today?
100% animal. I think it's one of the things that struck me is that I think we've had a lot of games where all of us have been watching, and I wonder if the players were feeling what we're feeling, like any ball that goes up into the final third, into the attacking unit, is a ball into nowhere. It has really felt like that for several games now. And today, it finally didn't feel like that. You're like,
we still had a bit of that going on, but it was 100%. It was more sort of, defensive clearances rather than some kind of long, hopeful hit up the pitch. But you're right about that. It's so draining to see attacks just fizzle out because, they've just hoofed one up long and we lose possession.
Right. And you could see that there was an idea of what we wanted to do, and then we'd get it, and it wouldn't quite come off. But here's an example of a difference. There is a moment where Sarr comes in, he gets into an area, and in previous games, he would try to drop that and make the pass. Today, he just takes it and he hits it. He hits it poorly. It wasn't good, but at least he's hitting it. And he's trying to get the ball on target. That is totally different. than what I have seen, and I'm really pleased with that. Couple players, I'm with you, is that I don't want to give Gesson too much credit too soon because we haven't seen enough. But it is important to have players of different profiles who can come on the pitch and do something different. And that happened in this game. Like, I don't think it was Pino's best game by any stretch, but I also think we're being way too harsh on him. I think we should not be so harsh on Pino. He does create. He does get into areas. He does attack the ball and defend from the front. He's going to come good. I feel very confident about Pino. But it was right to take him off, and it was right to put Gesson on. And when he did come on, it was different. Like, the physicality was a little better. Winning more, like they had established a little bit more control at the beginning of that second half. As soon as Gesson comes on, we start winning more second balls. We start looking more dominant in the middle of the park. We start dribbling into the final third. Let's not say that it was perfect, because it wasn't. There's still big levels that we have to get to, but that was important. I think Strand Larsen's energy was outstanding. I thought his pressing was outstanding. I also thought his link-up play was surprisingly good for somebody who's been with us for a week. Like, he does get himself into positions, and he's trying to get balls to his teammates. He'll get better at that. We didn't see a lot of hold-up play from him yet. We'll get to that. But the link-up really wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty decent. The thing that I'm looking forward to that was really missing today is the diagonal out to Munoz. Munoz doesn't look like Munoz isn't back to what he's been. That diagonal out to him it isn't on yet. We'll get there, but it's not on yet.
I think I think Gesson is going to be really important for us in the Conference League, maybe to help us break down some of these low blocks. It's got a little bit less. He's a little bit less predictable than say Pino on that side. But just to defend Pino a little bit more, I mean, the guy creates chances, and the reason why he doesn't have assists is because we're not putting away the chances that he might create.
Right. Yeah.
How's that his fault?
It's not. It's definitely not. I'm totally with you on this. I think that Jeremy Pino is, like, in a squad that lacks creativity, he actually is one of the key creators. And we need to give him some time, let him get into positions. And as this team the attack gets more synchronized, I think you're going to see him really start to shine. So he's not there yet. I remember where Kamada was last season, and we were absolutely killing him. And look where he's been. By the way, can we have a word for Daichi and how many clearances he got once he came on? He was brilliant. I mean, he didn't get a lot into the attacking areas, but he was clearing the ball, getting on the ball, holding it, getting it out. He was excellent. He was excellent. Yeah.
Do you reckon he starts against Burnley?
I hope he starts. I think that it would be good to have him in there and just getting minutes in the legs. I'm not surprised he didn't get a lot of time today because he was on a long-term injury, so fair enough. But I would expect to see Riyadh on Wednesday. I would expect to see I think you'd probably see Yuzi again, and maybe it's Yuzi and Kamada to start because Wharton gave a pretty intense 90. I thought Wharton was good. There were a lot of not spectacular, but decent performances up and down the side today. Very encouraging. And I will say also, just that was a terrible Brighton side. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody needs to do the Fabian Hertzler sad face meme and put it to the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, because they were terrible today. They really were.
Yeah, we took advantage, which we haven't done against bad sides. So so it was good. It was good today for us.
But great stuff, man. I'll let you got to get Chris on, and I already did the watch along, and my voice is already going. But that was great. Like this is important, and you never underestimate how important it is to have a team of players who want to be here and want to fight for the shirt. That is, I just didn't realize how much we were missing that. And then I watched today, and I was like, damn, you know what? We've been missing that. What a difference. What a difference.
On a whole squad it makes. On a whole squad. I think the effort was there from all the players. Even the players that have been there starting the games. I thought everyone just played at their level today, which was very, very positive to see.
Yeah.
But look, Tim, great talking to you. Catch up with you again.
Always up the palace. Come on. Let's go.
Cheers, Timmy.
Let's bring on Chris next. Chris.
Hello, chat. How you doing?
We've got a win. We're doing well. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I thought it'd be nice to call it when we've actually won for once, rather than just.
You only hear when we're winning.
Yeah. On the bandwagon straight away. Yeah.
But it was a good win. It was a good win today.
It was. I think it was deserved. I think we quickly sussed that it wasn't too much that Brighton could offer. They're missing that Van de Beek. I'm surprised I didn't start Welbeck because he always is a bit of a nuisance against us. He's a bit of a menace and that, and he did try psychologically at least to try and get one over Lerma, but he couldn't, and he couldn't on the pitch either. So yeah, I feel like I'm just picturing how it would have been if we'd lost that one. Also, if you're feeling like the Brighton fans are now, and I generally think that when they booed at the end, I've not heard that much noise at the Amex, possibly ever, at least not from the home end. They were very angry, and that's probably the end for that current manager.
Yeah, well, that's their problem to deal with. We'll take the 3 points and move on. But do you think this result is something now that we can build on? Because I really do.
Yeah, I think so. I think what Shane Larson and Gesson brought was just a bit of positivity and a bit of composure, because they hadn't been feeling that the mood around the camp too much. They hadn't been around long enough, I think. So many things today happen that haven't happened for ages, like a lot of 50-50s going our way. Firstly through the ref, but secondly just through like sheer bloody-mindedness in the midfield and ricochets. We keep fighting for it. Whereas I think recently just nothing seemed to drop for us. A few things did, which helped. It was a very kind of patchy Brighton lineup with areas of pretty decent players and lots of substandard players. So I think they exploited it well. Mitchell was doing very well against their youngster. Didn't have much to worry about there. I think I can't remember which surname was. Is it Holmes or Holness, something like this? Hewitt, I can't remember the end of H. But Mitchell, had that under control. And yeah, just looked a lot more cohesive and fair play, because I didn't know the players were still going to keep playing for Glasner. But today, it looked like they did. We'll also find out against Burnley and Wolves where they're probably going to really be scrapping away for it. But we didn't have too much to worry about. So I don't think Brighton were that good. But I think a lot of it goes down to us just having the right mentality and having those names like Lerma out there that have been there and done it with Bournemouth and us and scrapped a bit.
Yeah. Do you know what? Judging by Dino's comments and the passion that he shows on the pitch, like I just hope that the players are playing for the shirt. They're playing for us rather than whether they're playing for Glasner or not. The Glasner's got to keep it going. He's still in the job. He's still got to set them up well, and he's got to bring the tactics in. But hopefully the players are how they're showing up from today onwards, I hope is going to be for us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but they just seem that positive to like that bit of class and composure. I'm not going to party on Pino because I do like him. I think he will come good. But I guess they just had that bit more today. And Strand Larson offered a bit more than Mateta's been offering recently, and a couple more examples of that where they're all a bit better than before. None of them, like, people like Sarnat are still a work in progress, as you were pointing out. Like, there's a few times you're thinking, why are you staying offside? It's not the Haaland type trick. Might not work against Brighton and might not work for us. But no, just a really massive relief to get that 3 points. Probably would have taken a point, even at half time. I probably would have taken a point, but to pinch all three is brilliant, and that will relieve them right down in the dumps. And it also puts us above Spurs, who are tumbling too. So that's good. Yeah,
and above Brighton as well. And then when you're looking at the table, we're only 2 points off 10th. So a win against Burnley and a few results going our way, and we should be looking up the table rather than down. But how do you feel about our current position in the table and the big word relegation, what people were using over the past few weeks? I said it before the game, even like I just have a feeling, very confident, maybe Some people could have said naive or delusional from me, but I just don't think we're going to get relegated. But thankfully, we got to win and it boosts our chances. So I'm not really worried about that. But what about you about relegation and what?
No, it's certainly eased it a bit, and now you're going to have, as you pointed out earlier, you're going to have Lerma trying to hold Riyadh and Canvo out the team. You're going to have Daichi trying to force his way back in, and Wharton and Hughes were pretty good today. And Lerma on a spot there too, and Sarr versus Brennan Johnson and Pino versus Gesson. That's what we needed. So it was a strange window, and wasn't fully convinced because I do think we needed another centre back. But we look at it all, that could be a difference between us not only getting out this relegation scrap, but maybe pushing on a bit further. They've all got points to prove. They've all got World Cup places to battle for. Maybe not Wales or Benny, but we'll see. So that's the kind of thing that's going to make a difference. And of course, if one is off form, if one is injured, then we got all those extra minutes from the Conference League. I think we'll hopefully kick up the table a bit now, especially with those fixtures. We've avoided defeat against Forest and done one better against Brighton. Those are two teams around us that we really needed to not lose to.
Yeah. Let's see now. Let's see. I'm looking forward to the game against Burnley. So it is definitely a massive boost in terms of confidence, not only to the players but to the fans as well. I think Selhurst Park will be a bit more lively than it has been as of recently, because it's the negativity in and around the club has definitely gone on to the fans, and now it's looking much more positive. I'm looking forward to that game on Wednesday. But Chris, always great talking to you. Hopefully we win against Burnley. Otherwise, won't see you again for another 2 months.
Maybe I'll be on holiday, so whatever happens, I'll be all right.
Well, I'm away on Thursday. Thankfully to Macclesfield, because we haven't got a game, so I'll be away on Thursday. So yeah, enjoy your holiday.
Cheers, lads. Take it easy.
Okay. Any other last words, Animal, before we wrap up?
Yeah, look, we've been down in the dumps recently. We've had a really bad run for I think it's about just over a month, isn't it? And that we've had this.
Longer than a month, like 2 months.
2 months. Yeah. We've been down. We've had the bomb dropped on us, and we've had people wanting to leave and everything. And we've got new players in now. We've got a little bit of squad depth going forward. We've picked up a 1-0 win. And we need to sort of slowly build on this now, whether it be a convincing win, against is it Wolves next? It's Wolves next, isn't it?
No, Burnley.
Burnley next.
Yeah, Burnley. Then we got Burnley. Then we got Conference League. So yeah, we've got a break, man. Yeah. Burnley Conference League. So we're playing on Wednesday. Then we got no game for till next week Thursday, because we got no game on the weekend, FA Cup weekend. So we got a whole week off, longer than a week, 8 days off till our next games. Yeah, for our next game. So yeah, enough preparation to travel all the way to Bosnia for our first conference.
Well, look, we've got to pick ourselves up now, and we've got to look forward and look upwards as well. It's Zrinski in the Conference League, is it?
Yeah, Zrinski Mostar. Yeah, so I mean, we have to. Regardless, even what happened in the FA Cup, like the Conference League, I really want to go for it without sounding greedy. Of course, if we won the FA Cup again, that would be fantastic. But what's happened has happened against Macclesfield. Over it now. But yeah, if we can go and focus on our Conference League game, like it's the Champions League final, every single game that we have, then I'll be very happy with that, because I really want us to go win the Conference League.
Yeah, we've still got stuff to play for, man. Like, we've still got a successful season can go our way. So, like, all we need is the positivity,
Yeah, 100%. So let's see what happens. But if you have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe. We'll be back, of course, for the preview probably tomorrow, but have to plan it all out. So we'll be doing that after this. But until next time, up the Palace.